There is nothing cooler than being able to interact with your favorite live streamer. To be able to affect their stream with scene changes or camera effects is just awesome, especially when the audience only has to watch and chat to get access to these features. And you can add it to your OBS streams totally free. So today I'm going to show you how to create a chat point system that you can use on your YouTube live streams. We have a lot to get to today, so you know what? Let's get to it! The app we're going to be using today is called StreamerBot, and it's totally free. There is a link in the description so you can download it and check it out for yourself, and of course follow along with me. That is the best way to learn. Let me show you how to get a StreamerBot loaded on your system and connected to YouTube and your OBS. Here is the StreamerBot page, and all you have to do to actually get it is click on the little StreamerBot right here. You can see it automatically starts downloading it, and then we're going to just go over into our downloads, and we'll just right click and extract all, and wherever you want to extract it, and then boom, it's extracted. And so you have this folder, and you just run it right out of this folder. So what you're going to want to do is just copy this folder and put it wherever you want your StreamerBot to be. Now you can rename it as well, make it pretty easy to find, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to rename mine since I already have a version of it on here that I work with all the time. I want to go ahead and just name it so we can use it for this tutorial. And that's the beautiful thing about StreamerBot. You can just rename the folder, copy it and rename it, and have 5 or 6 different versions of StreamerBot for different streams or for just testing. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to put it in my OBS location. I have a drive just for OBS, and we're going to go ahead and paste it right there. And you can see I have other versions of StreamerBot, but we're going to use this one here. And so the easiest way to get it kicked off, and we can see the executable right there. Well, that's actually the PNG file. This right here is the executable. And so all we have to do is right click and drag it out and drop it, and then we want to create a shortcut here, and I'm just going to rename this one, and I can just double click on it, and it's going to bring up this right here because it's an unsigned program. So we'll just click more info and run anyways, and there we go. Now this, I'm sure, to someone who's never used this before, looks extremely complicated, and I get that, but we're going to take it step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and connect this with our YouTube. So we're going to go to platforms, and we're going to go to YouTube, and then we're going to click I agree right here, and then we just go over to account right here, and we're going to go ahead and sign into our YouTube account. You can just click select all right here and continue. And so now we are signed in with YouTube, and then we can just click auto connect so we don't have to do that again later. So now we're connected with YouTube, which means we can set up events for chat messages, sponsors, memberships, super chats, broadcast events. You can change these up to be whatever you want. And then of course you're going to have your stream info right here. The other platform we obviously want to set this up for is OBS. So for that, we're going to go to Stream Apps, and we're going to go ahead and right click and add, and we'll just call this OBS. So if we're using OBS that's 28 or newer, it's automatically going to have the WebSocket 5 built in. If we're using something older, then you might still have 4.9. And so 4.9 is going to use port 444. Version 5 is going to use port 4455. We want to auto connect to startup, and we want to reconnect on disconnect. If you have a password, you can put that in right here. Let me show you where you would find a password in your OBS. So in your OBS, you'd go up here to Tools, and then WebSocket Server Settings. You want to make sure that you have enabled your WebSocket, and you can do the system tray or the debugging if you want. Your server port is already there. You can enable authentication, and you just put a password in here. This is where you're going to get your password if you want to use a password. And then this is where you can create actions that happen in StreamerBot when you connect to OBS and when you disconnect. So we'll talk about actions a little later, but if I click OK, because I don't have a password in my OBS, it will connect. Once connected, you're going to see it says connected right here, and you're going to be able to go into your OBS and you will see that it shows you connected right here. Now that we're fully connected with our OBS and our YouTube, what can we do with this? Now, setting up the YouTube channel points is a bit of a process, so it will be easier if you're following along. But really, honestly, it's not hard to do. Let me show you how. We are going to start with a cool little StreamerBot plugin made by Haunter56. Thank you very much, my friend. Basically, this install entails us go ahead and download this, and we're just going to copy the code. We're going to select all, right click and copy. We'll go back here, and it tells you what to do right here. So we're going to open up our StreamerBot, and we're going to go to import, and we're just going to go ahead and paste in code right here. And we want to make sure all of our actions are check marked, and then we're going to go ahead and import. So there we go. So now we have all of these actions and commands in here. We do have to do one more thing. So we have to go to our C+ compiler. So that is under settings, and then we're going to go to the C+ compiler, and we're going to go ahead and right click and add. And what we're looking for is this System Core DLL. So Microsoft Net Framework 64, whatever version you have. And then you're just going to go down to the System Core right here. And you're going to open it. And there you go. Just want to make sure that that's basically the same way as that's set up. And now we're all set. So we can go to platforms and YouTube. Next, we want to assign our present viewers. And basically, you're going to get points for the time that you spend actually on the stream. But in order for that to happen, we have to use this present viewers. We have to assign an action to it. And those actions are already created. So we're going to assign the present viewers event right here. And it's for 5 minutes. So as long as you say something in chat every 5 minutes, it assumes you're there and you will get points. We can also select our sub action for assigning the first words right there. Now let's go into actions and configure some of this stuff up. So the first one we're going to want to take a look at is at the very bottom. It's the streamer command set points name. And that means we can configure this up so that our points name is whatever we want. And the reason why is because it holds this global variable of points name. So if we go into commands, we see the command is already set up, set points name. So we just want to probably add our own username in here as the only ones allowed, so we can set our points name up. So now that we've gone live and we typed in chat, our name is in here. Can add ourselves to the allowed list, and of course we need to go ahead and enable these. So all we have to do is go up here and click enable and OK, and now I can set the points name if I type it right, and we can call it points. You can call it Michael Bucks, and there we go. Loyalty points name has been changed to Michael Bucks. Don't forget to update the point balance command. Now that's not really what I want, so we're just going to call it MFJ points. Sure, why not? And you notice it takes a couple seconds for that to come up. Boom, we've set our points. And we can use these other commands to add points, set points, and all that other sort of stuff so that our moderators can actually adjust points for viewers or something like that. And of course, points is already set up too, which will give a viewer their points value. So type that in there, and it takes a moment or two, and it will give them their points balance. Of course, we have to actually physically enable it. There we go. Let's try it again. Just keep in mind when you import this, all of the point stuff is totally disabled. So it gives us our point balance of 60. So if you want your moderators to be able to set points for users or add points for users or anything like that, you're going to have to go in here, add your moderators in like that, and you're going to have to enable this. And we're going to do the same thing for set points. We're going to add our moderators in, and we're going to enable it. So now our moderators can add points and set points for other users. Now once you set your points name, you can theoretically disable this so that there's no way that somebody could accidentally figure out how to trigger it. So nobody's changing your points name. And of course there's this shout out action. What this will do is it will commit to an action that will post the user's channel or something like that directly in the stream if you'd like, and you can enable that or not enable it. It's up to you. I kind of don't do shout outs on my stream because I don't think it's productive, but it is a thing that you can do if it's something you want to do on your particular channel. So now that we have our points system name and we have it active for all of our moderators, all we have to do is go in here and create actions that are going to help us. But we kind of want to still set it up a little bit so it's going to give us what we want. So you've got your first word events, and right here you can see that you're going to get an increment of 150 points. So you can modify the points here. Assign to present viewer event. So this basically is how you assign the points for people who are just viewing over time. And then your checkpoints balance is obviously the action that goes with the points command. So this is the script that's going to tell them how to get your points. And right here is the script that is going to be for redeems. So we'll go over that in a minute. But here are the messages for the add points, duplicate users, invalid points. So if somebody doesn't have a point or something like that, or they're a duplicate user, they're not going to have points. Name doesn't exist if they never really talked before, or there's something going on that they don't actually have a name in the system. That's the error they'll get. Not enough points for when someone tries to redeem something and they don't have enough points. And then here are the mod commands for the add points, set points, and shout out action. And there is the streamer command, which is for setting the points name. So most of what you're going to be using is this one right here, but you do want to assign points values if you want them changed to first words. And then right here is the points per minute. So however long the user is watching. And you can change this value to whatever you want. So currently a user is going to get 20 points for every minute that they watch. Here's the action for the checkpoints value. And so it sets a default value and all of these other things. But you don't really need to mess with this. Just know that these three actions right here assign a first words event. So if you wanted to create something interesting for your first words event, you can easily do that. So for the first time that someone chats, you can set up an event that say, hey, welcome to the stream. So you can add on to any of these if you would like. You can also set your commands to have a cooldown period. So if you don't want people asking for your points constantly all the time, you can set it up so that there is a little bit of a cooldown period right here. So you can create a cooldown action that you could select that basically will make sure they can't ask every 30 seconds what their point system is. And maybe it just puts a message in the chat that says, hey, you're asking too much. And here you have your user cooldown and your global cooldown. So you could create those settings just in case, so the points question is not abused constantly. First, let's just dip our toes in here. So we're going to add a little command to this first words event. What we'll do is we're going to go in here and we'll just use the main one. Let's create an alerts scene here. And I'm just going to go and add a GDI text. So we'll go right here. And let's call this one first word. And boom. And I'm going to select a font. We'll do Arial Black. Let's go ahead and put some test text in here just so we could get everything the way we want it. And we're going to add some gradient color. And we'll set our color to a dark blue. And that is our text color. And we can set it up for a gradient if we want. Let's just make it blue. And actually, let's change our text color to yellow. And then we're going to add a background. And that's going to be a dark blue. And we'll just turn up our background opacity like that. And we'll add some outline to our text. Let's change color of the outline to black. And there we go. So now we're all set. I like it. We'll just remove the words. Actually, let's place it where we want it. And we'll put it down here. And what you want to do with any kind of text stuff is you want to go into your transform, edit the transform, and then for your alignment, you want to go to any of the center ones. So center top, center left, whatever you want. I usually just go with center, close, and then I'll place it where I want. I'll right click, go transform, and center horizontally. And that's all you need to do. We can just turn it off. And now we'll open up our streamer bot here. And so everything is all set up. All we have to do is right click, go to OBS, and then we're going to go to our sources. And we're going to go to set GDI text. And really, the GDI text that we want to use, we can just use this. So we'll just go welcome to the stream, and then we want to use user as our name. That's the name of the person who triggered the actual action. And then we can do have 150, and we can just type in points if we know what that's going to be, or we can use the points name, and that should give us the points name. So you've been given 150 points name. And so now we're all set. We have a thing that's going to happen. So we've set our text. Now we just need to make it visible. So we can go to OBS, go to our sources, and we want to set a source visibility state. And the source is first words, and we're going to make it visible. And if we just move this over here a little bit, what we can do is double click and we can test it. And there we go. Makes it visible. What I want to do is decide how long we want this on the screen. So we're going to go to our core. We're going to add a delay, and let's say 3 seconds. So 3000 milliseconds. And then what I'm going to do is just duplicate this, which is making our text visible. And then I'll go in here and I'll make our text invisible. And there we go. So now we've just set up our text to go on when we do our little dance. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go live for a second and show you how we trigger this. All right, so first I'm going to go, we have it set up here. We're going to go into our main scene, and we're just going to add the sources for that scene. So we're going to go to scene, and we're going to add alerts. And any alerts that we have configured in here, that means they're going to go ahead and show up in here. Super simple. So let's go ahead and configure the rest of this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start streaming. And there we go. And we'll bring StreamerBot up here. And what I want to do is I can't trigger this, because if I say hello, you can see that right in here it tells us if user ID equals broadcaster ID. Well, it does. It's me. I'm the broadcaster. So you'll see I don't have the number of points. I didn't get my 120 points or whatever. My balance is 300 now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a new user so that we can check this out. So just give me a moment here. All right, so now I'm in here with another user, and let's see what happens. Boom. And there we go. We can see our font was way too large there, but now if we go over here and we get our points, And what's my points balance? 150. So look at that. We've already got points and everything is good. The only thing we would need to do is go and modify our first word alert so it's not so ridiculously huge. So if we were to view that now, it's going to still have the same properties. So what we can do is go in here and go to our properties, and we'll go to select font, and we're going to go ahead and just change the size of that font. And there we go. And let's see what that gets us. So welcome to the stream for the love of cars. Have 150 MFJ points. So there we go. You just have to make sure your actual stuff is set up, but we set up our first alert. And you saw that it came on and went off exactly how it was supposed to for the full 3 seconds. Obviously, to test this again, I'd have to log in as another user or something like that. But you saw that it worked. So if we wanted to set up something where we could have the same user trigger something on the stream, let's do that. So in order to create your actions, you're going to basically duplicate this one right here and create your actions. So it gets the points name and the points, and it assigns the default here. It sets the argument, which is the points cost. So how much does the action that they're trying to run cost? This is where you would change from a simple reward redeem that might be 50 points all the way up to 1,000 points for a more detailed reward redeem, whatever you want. And of course it tells you that right here in the notes. Then you've got your action where it will check the points balance. And then if you have enough, you're gonna set the redeem name. This is the name of the points that you're trying to redeem. And then a YouTube bot message telling us that so-and-so redeemed and the redeem name. And then here is where you're going to put your actions in there. And that would be basically whatever this redeem is going to trigger. So you're really just going to duplicate this one over and over again in order to add in all of the different redeems. And then once you do that, you're going to create commands for all those redeems. And we're going to go and we're going to duplicate this simple redeem right here. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this, and we're going to double click it, and we're going to rename this command. Let's call this nose. All right. And we'll click OK. And now we have to go over here, and it's going to do all of its things. So we can change the amount for this redeem. So let's make this redeem 60 points. All right. And then it checks the points balance, does all that stuff. And now we just have to do an action. So let's go ahead and right click on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to core, and we're going to use some system commands in this case. I'm going to do a keyboard press. So what am I going to do a keyboard press for? I want it to activate a filter in SnapCam. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and let's find our nose filter in SnapCam right here. So it's called long nose, and let's go and see what the actual hotkeys are for long nose. Control +4. So we're going to click the control, and we're going to select the 4, and we're going to click OK. So when someone redeems this, it's going to hit control +4. Then we want to go ahead and go to our core. We'll add a delay, and let's do this for 20 seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate this so it will unpress the same keyboard. So now we should be able to trigger our nose. Pretty simple. You can see we've got nose. How do we set this up? Well, we've got to go into commands, and we're going to right click and go to add, and our command is going to be nose, and we want to make sure it's enabled, and the group will be the YouTube point system, and we want this to be a YouTube message. And then all we have to do is nothing else, because as long as nothing is selected here, it's going to allow anyone to do this. So we just have to pick the action, and we'll pick the action command nose. And we're going to select, and we're going to click OK. So now we should be set up to trigger our new points award. So now we just have to go ahead and exclamation point nose, and there we go. It triggered it. It should be basically active for 20 seconds or so, and then it should turn it off. At least that's what it's supposed to do. We'll have to see if it actually turns it off. But you also get the message here. This is your redeem name for 60. So we didn't update the redeem name. We have to put right in here the redeem name. So we'll put in nose and click OK. And now we could trigger it again. Well, of course we can. We have the points. So let's see what happens. And there we go. We triggered it again. You have redeemed a nose for 60 points. You have 110 left. So you can see how simple this is to set up. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. I can use faces. I could change voices using voice mod. I could change scenes. I could trigger graphics or text. Just like the text we already showed you, we could trigger filters and all kinds of stuff. But now you understand the easy way to set up this sort of system on your live stream so you can have channel points all made for you. It's awesome. Alright, so the last thing that we really have to talk about is how you actually redeem this. And how does your audience know how to redeem this? Well, the easiest thing to do is create a text file. And here's what my text file consists of. It has my command on the left, a little blurb about the command, and then how many points the command costs. And I can use this in a bunch of different ways. The first way is to put it in the description so that your viewer can just go in the description to see these chat commands. The second way would be to go ahead and create a command in StreamerBot that's going to list all of these commands right in the chat. And you want to make sure that you put a chat timer on that so that you're not getting 50 people typing that command that's listing all of the redeems. The third way, and the way that I feel like kind of works pretty good, is to actually create a text file that will scroll and fit right into your overlay or whatever you use to live stream. So let me quickly show you how to set that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click the plus, and I am going to go to GDI text right here, and we'll just call this redeem, and I'm going to click OK. And then what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and type something in here. Redeem your points. And what you definitely want to put a little bit of space at the beginning of here and a little bit of space at the end of here. And I'm going to go ahead and select a different font and a different size. And there we go. That's more apt for what we're doing. And you can change these up in any way you want to make them look how you want. So you want to put some space in between each of your things. And then what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy these, which that's why you want to write them out. So it's really easy to go ahead and copy them out. We don't want this on a new line. So we just want to go back, put it right there. And then what we want to do is put some more spaces in here. Go to our next command and copy and paste it in here. And then put some spaces in there. And go to our next command. And I feel like you probably get the point. You're going to put all of your commands in here. And you're going to see it goes off the screen here. So we're going to hold down the Alt key. We're just going to drag this over so it only is on the screen there. And then let's add one more. And we'll paste it in there. And we can add a couple of spaces here as well. And you can see it still shifted out. So you probably don't want to do your adjustment until you're done. But you just hold on to the Alt key and you just crop it up. So there we are. and then we'll hit that space and we'll zoom in. So we've got our chat up here. All we want to do now is make that scroll. So we're going to right click on our chat. We're going to go into filters and we're going to click the plus and we're going to go to scroll. And all we have to do is adjust scroll speed. And there you go. So now you have a list of your chat commands right in your overlay. It's not too distracting, but your audience knows what the points are and what the commands are so that they can redeem their chat points. A lot of people might not want to go into the description. Of course, there are going to be people who are going to abuse the command system to type it in chat, and it could get pretty long if you have a lot of redeems. But because this isn't a built-in feature, I feel like this is probably the best way to integrate it into your live stream. You're gonna have your audience doing all kinds of crazy things on your stream in no time. If you wanna see how to use integrations like Stream Elements and Voice Mod with StreamerBot, you should let me know that in the comment. And if you wanna see how to create alerts using StreamerBot, you should check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.